It was about regarding all that crazy stuff that took place in Dominica. Dominica. There's a Dominica tied to some people involved with child sex offenders. I was around her one time in Woods, but I never had a conversation with her. And that's recorded, confessed, and demonstrated people from Southington involved with foreign and domestic families involved with racketeering with prosecutors and with judges retired and standing, and with the police of their courts, and with even victim advocates, where they bring up all kinds of different charges and things. They're putting fake things in databases per the roles with live aggressions. See, now this is right through the Obama administration had roles with people associated with a Phil Cololo, who's further involved with child sex offenders through his administration. Obviously, President Obama didn't know about that, but and obviously intimately the people that they communicate with presidents are lying to them. There is no excuse for even like the shock associated with their treatments of everyone when people speak in Congress. Their fact should be nature quality. We have a whole bunch of nations. DACA is recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with other like adult campuses, colleges, and universities involved with crimes with the child campuses originally and still through time exploiting it. Now they're forging names and switching names because they were investing people to acting things. Criminal uses identity to ground like Millwoods Park, houses around it, like the church around it, for example, and like people around that street, Maple Street, there's a house there. I don't know if it's called Donahue. They might the one time I was standing near them, they might try to film. I never had a conversation with her friends. They're recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with a bunch of state police, FBI, CIA, with mail crime, wire crimes, evidences, crimes, and cases. These are also people that are crimes further tied to a proven sequence shift inside the Ninth Circuit in the Trade Center attack, and with a pattern of racketeering since before that and with the investigators of it. The investigators of the Trade Center attack attached me to fake conversations about the CIA. They use Facebook to pretend me in conversations and fake locations with people, as courts did through time with me and other kids. They attach kids to fake locations through time, fake recorded things in databases. Against each age of fact shaping nature, they have crime methods and natures actually recorded originally and still the way they were. Victim predators. Victims but predators. So we have statutes maintain criminally foreign influence and live progressions from that, and they have that maintained recorded self value too. It used. So it's all right if people want to make opinions about people. So the networks are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with worse than bullying, identity thefts, racketeering, stealing people to fake locations, fake conversations with them. WFSB. Fox Connecticut News, WTNH. They're also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with racketeering with foreign and domestic overt criminal enterprises, people associated with fire departments, inspectors, interstates, retired and standing, involved with further trade center attack contacts, racketeering interstates from Connecticut to branch, on and off the state judicial branch offices, on and off the state prison offices. Now, so WFSB is recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. They prevent free speech by stealing it and by sequence shifting, and that by pretending to be against things like bullying and things like that, while at the same time they're defending and valuing their identities, mispraising individually grouped together as bullies, as identity, stealing people to fake locations where the principal sex offenders campus know. Further involved with WFSB with prosecutors recorded confessed with them spreading lies through kids because they faked things into databases into branch already. They faked conversations with me with prosecutors that are from my town, involved with people with long-standing and other prosecutors, police forms, state police, involved with racketeering with the transition from O.C.C.A to R.I.C.O, which is organization control, corrupt organization, organized crime, Organized Crime Control Act is O.C.C.A, and R.I.C.O is Racketeering Influence and Corrupt Organization Act. And now, regarding of what they call it, regardless of what they call it, the predicate act of English is simultaneously valued distinctly and non-distinctly per the same identity of relationship that has an identity of relationship to itself as a value of the identity of the answer to all questions, answer slash S. Per actual science. See, but in other words, they're forcing the wrong outcomes in court in cases originally instilled. Interbranch individually grouped and together criminally acting. The source, like in other words, the congressional part of our government, from mayors up, are involved. Even school elections are recorded involved with the racketeering with the Trade Center originally instilled. Private agreements that you can't self-value and defend us at the same time. The surface values of the Constitution unabridged. So we have knowledge. Who knows what amendment is what? To getting over on free speech, Marbury versus Madison, pretending to be against, pretending not to realize, and pretending for emotions and passions they can't pretend on writing, so they have to sustain it and make a way they can criminally. They're hiding and plotting. They're supposed to be, in other words, there's an old saying, they're pretending that they're against hateful language when they're forcing principal sex offenders. In other words, they're dishonestly. And they're pretending that because that's what they need to pretend in the background, because they pretend online, then they have to address the sequence shifts. WFSB is recorded, confessed, and demonstrated forcing sequence shifts and forced sustained fake care and fake hurt with campuses in Wethersfield and Intercity involved connected further criminality with them. And with each of the departments at CCSU were recorded, confessed, and demonstrated criminally involved. Each of the departments at UConn recorded, confessed, demonstrated criminally involved. Each of the departments, I didn't even go to UConn. Each of the departments at each of the campuses. They have the identity the sciences share worse than obfuscated. So we need mandated law followed. There's an officer Poison with the state police and with the Wethersfield police retired and standing who has recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with physical delusions and with evidences racketeering, mail crime rolls, wire crimes, forging names and switching names, falsified police reports as them, and interbranch grouped too, criminally acting, individually grouped. Individually, every individual grouped together with our various natures of courts, people on off the offices again. So please follow mandated law. It's all right, you want to have opinions. You guys have recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. You attached me and other people that were in New York right before the Trade Center attack. Thank God we didn't have to be suffer through too. That part of it, and we came home shocked. See that on the TV. Now, see, but people there interstate are involved with those with the interbranch racketeering then that they did not me report leading up to it, leading up to 2006 case with former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, which is important because this is a pattern that shows actually recorded how they're using the names Mueller and Comey for sequence shift racketeering cover-ups of evidences and of mandated law they're preventing. They're forcing it to sustain because they have like shared policing with stores and uses of locations like around where they have a Zano families um clothing, what do they call it, dry cleaners, and they're involved with like all these their extended family members, and with my neighbors' extended family members further involved with a Phil Cololo and a whole bunch of police, like two Mendez police, the Weathersfield police chief, his daughter, and his extended family member with further foreign and domestic overt criminal enterprises with mail crime rules, wire crime rules, sequence shift rules, fake conversations with me, identity thefts, identity racketeering, identity fraud. Worse, torture. Now, these people were racketeering roles and uses with these methods and natures of torture, with fact cheating nature, other people's identities originally instilled, and then they had to hide that. It's sickly distinctly. Each age of fact cheating nature was left forsaken, formally, let alone over here. No one cared. That's exploited. We have the crime methods recorded, demonstrate. We have how religious spots were involved with this too. All different kinds of religions, Christianity, Jewish, a witch religion, all these people in collusion. People that walk by pretend, oh, see, but no one cares when it comes down to mandated law. You need to have a conversation about what's actually recorded. They can't do it. So they're pretending things recorded. And then they're hiding from those people's lies because they were already involved with racketeering uses of the databases, each age of campus and on and off of it as facilitated to it in conjunction with people don't even realize because everyone's a victim predator the same way originally. Still, we're not allowed to protract actual free speech and science. Now, WFSB recorded, confessed, and demonstrated they need to pretend all kinds of passion, emotions, and valuing how they're stacking a whole bunch of more and more and more and more names of strangers while they're for they have my new and past neighbors, and they have an Anna Rio associated with an executive realty company. I never met you. You are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with my new and past neighbors. I don't know my new neighbors' names. Involved with a Kevin Dillon, Sean Dillon, Anna Dillon, with racketeering with a Hanson family, with a whole bunch of FBI, CIA, and courts clicks, drug clicks, and UConn, Trinity College, CCSU racketeering acts rules, and with our intelligence community, and with foreign ones. And this is with people with DACA recorded, confessed, demonstrated with our side, where they're stealing, and where they have like a Joe DeMoro, Mike Kerr, people tied to New Britain Superior Court, and a whole bunch of people I don't know tied to them. See, and like that person didn't even go to my school, Mike Kerr. They put a little exception for like a short time. I never had them in a class. These are people that play acting. These are people racketeering roles and uses of the trade center then and now. They're preventing mandated law. They have a Fred Grisey and have other people with the name Alicia with New York City recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved further with child offenders, people involved with elderly homes, especially with probate courts, their family members, and then ones of and as a person as a former Judge Killian. We have really sick people involved with. He's recorded, confessed, demonstrated, recorded, involved with a whole bunch of natures of racketeering acts, fake conversations with me, um, forging names, switching names, roles, drug crime roles, formal drug crimes, other natures of drug, their family members, and their crimes with their patients and criminals before they're in there, like a principal sex offender. Other sex offenders, family members involved with other natures of racketeering that connect the unconnected sex offenders into their criminal uses of Stop and Shop on off that location, on off the location of the Stop and Shop in Weathersfield there too, and off that on that route that ends where the Stop and Shop at Cromwell is. That goes by the state judicial branch offices off, also on off of it, recorded involved with a bunch of natures and methods of racketeering involved with the Fianza family, with WFSB, with a whole bunch of other men and women. I don't know. And like for example, they play fact cheating nature tricks where they I only know them from confessions about their roles with this Dillon family, also with the real estate companies and people associated with Lena's Pizza on Park Street. Now, these are people involved with natures of poison and things like that, natures of threats through the only counters. And in other words, these are also racketeering roles. A whole bunch of people with Hartford Hospital's campus associated with a Leahy family and with some foreign and domestic family members and natures of uses of that, where they're only fighting to be titles of jobs that are worthless here and there, like with psychology. That has infected all the other actual healthcare, actual medicine, with their roles with a whole bunch of natures of methods of racketeering. It's all right. They want to pretend they're against certain things. Let them pick one name and sequence. All we need is recorded originally and still to demonstrate how we have never had anything but breaching screens speak for our founding fathers who never had free speech. And how? You guys didn't even have the American Revolution correct. You don't even have the Civil War correct. And then we want to know the most facts and pretend you know what you're talking about. Get deal with it. We have recorded criminally foreign influence zoning laws. That's a fact. That's evidence. And we have the history that has that glorified our founders, how they were forced to speech, fake theater, that how they have that force glorified not by accident, because you can't then now no, just follow mandated law. We have Facebook recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved racketeering with Connecticut interbranch and military for interstates. They're involved with racketeering with a whole bunch of people here with Hartford Hospital involved with the Rocky Hill VA as the ones in my house and with the houses in my area involved with the racketeering with their narratives and background, pretending to investigate things while they're needing to sequence shifts and pretend things that way because they're already caught. Now I need them to stop forging names and switching names into branch. They have women judges forging names, switching names, women prosecutors forging names, switching names, confess, recording, and demonstrating involved with falsified police reports put into their databases with a whole bunch of other police intercities, a whole bunch of then they leave a record. They're attaching everyone to fake locations, adults, their kids, their extended family, each age of fact treat nature. We have prosecutors and their drug clicks are all also recorded that the prosecutors involved with this also recorded other ways and confessed and demonstrated involved with all kinds of natures of racketeering, fake conversations with me, identity thefts, identity fraud, wire crime rolls, forging names rolls, switching names rolls. They do those methods because then they're lying about the time. Then they're stuck that way. Now, this was leading up to the Trade Center attack too, not just the 2006 case, and all that was tied through a person in my area who didn't go to these colleges either, or university. I don't know where he went. I don't know if he went to the colleges I went. He went to Middlesex Community College. Also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with friends of his with tied to that with criminal justice racketeering and roles with former director of the FBI and with his co-defendants with them with this criminally as the people involved with Domenico. Dominica, I don't know if she's from Dominica. I don't know her. I'm just saying Dominica. They involved her with people pretending to know me that try to pretend, film other in the past. And people that I don't know at all from the past, but through their confessions about them, and like a Joshua Julian, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with roles with the uses of Facebook with child sex offenders and judges and interbranch police involved. What is it called? Coast Guard people, a whole bunch of racketeering roles with drugs, formal and other, on Church Street in Old Weathersfield that is tied to database racketeering and roles where they're using the clicks using the same drugs where they speak things through that and they use that as a tool where then they're going to try to figure things out and communicate but leave out parts and they're using that for racketeering that are recorded effectively used Trinity College also for roles with the Trade Center attack before I went there. But from off it, there are victims of this, you know, unless they wanted to. That's recorded because they have a Dean Alford with forging names, switching names with a whole bunch of people type former director of the FBI and Robert Luskin. Around the corner on Farmington Avenue, there's Harriet Beecher Stowehouse, Mark Twain House. Down the street from them is Robert Chevery. I don't know if his lawyer's still there, if his law offices are still there. But a whole bunch of other people from my town, which is not, and that's Hartford, Connecticut. Mine's Wethersfield, Connecticut. A whole bunch of people from my town. The state judicial branch offices are in this town. The state prison offices in this town, Hartford slash. Now, people, houses and locations and families on and off that are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated through time involve racketeering roles and uses of houses in my area, and everyone's speaking through other criminally. So there's an executive realty with an Amy Rio further involved with judges and various natures of their family members, the prosecutors, the estate's attorneys, their family members, everyone speaking about other people through others consciously criminally though. They know this. They know they attach me to fake words, fake behavior, fake locations. They know they attach fake kids to fake locations further. They have further child offender roles with the principal sex offenders campus then and now still. Now they're playing games because they also have involved the streets people already invested to pretending things into databases. They have people with corners involved with this. They have Russian families involved with this. They have election crimes and election spots involved criminally with this. Let's go. Fix fix the fake WFSB. Admit that you guys are involved with torturing me, threatening me, torturing me, not to have you correct the fake conversations you attach me and my family to, the fake sequences, and as your federal crimes with federal criminals that we already beat in a case. My father already beat in a case, and on an R.B. case that also you're a federal criminal, like a Leahy family, people with badges and stuff tied to him, involved attaching me fake conversations with him about that and with other people. I had no conversation. He's got a whole bunch of sons and women in their family involved with the triage, where they could use, they have the right to put people for mental evaluation, but they've been using that to fake recorded things. They've been using it to hide their life aggressions, their recorded crimes with child sex offenders, and further with the family members of those of the upset people on the sex offender registry with other natures of racketeering and roles with the evidence racketeering here against me and others. I don't know the names of my new past neighbors. I wouldn't even have to do it online. The Wethersfield Police recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. The New Britain Superior Court recorded, confessed, and demonstrated that they lie if you try to call up. They lie about what's actually recorded over email. They're involved with former director of the FBI and his defendant capacities criminally through and with leading up to that too, with the people intercities. So let's go. I have military police recorded, confessed, and demonstrated racketeering roles and uses of MPO Floyd. I don't know all their names, but they confessed and recorded it to me, and I made that stuck. And then they attached me to fake locations with that too. CCSU trained a whole bunch of state police that are, you can't trust them now, and CCSU owes them. But it's more all by because the CCSU was influenced to it because their criminal roles with New Britain Superior Court, with prosecutors, with the training of those people and those stuff. Each age of fact sheeting nature, they've been using those locations connected through time. That was involved. CCSU and those other campuses and cliques are involved with covering live progressions. So they need all kinds of abuses on and off campuses of each age of factory unit. It's not just sexual. It's not just medical. It's not just databases and evidences and mail crime and wire crime. It's worse. So, but I'll have who denies this interbranch. They need to pick one name in sequence because they know this is true. And that's why they're forging names and switching names with sex offenders. And that was also recorded, confessed, demonstrated further threats of all that, and confessions about in the Britain Superior Court, inside and out of the court, confessed and recorded and demonstrated involved racketeering roles with the houses in my area, involved with the other houses on off the campuses, and with the parks criminally involved through time. I just remind WFSB, Fox Connecticut News, and WTNH also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated that they used themselves playing softball to cover up their life progressions and racketeering roles with this. Then now fix the fake news real fast. Start class.